All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. So today I'm excited because we're going to be adding a second motor to our system, which will help us create something that starts looking like a robot arm. All right, so here's our system right here. And so nothing new here. We got our motor here. We have a pencil connected. And then right here on the screen, we have our schematic. So what I want to do is take your second motor. Go ahead and grab a second motor, and you're going to need a coupling like this, and then go ahead and put it on. For now, don't worry about putting the screw on there, and you'll see why, but just kind of just set it on there. We're going to need to change the position of the propeller, or what we call the coupling, later, so don't screw it on quite yet, okay? Just kind of stick it on there, okay? And let's work on our schematic here. All right, so we have one motor here. That's this motor right here. It's connected to pin number 9. So what we need to do now, let's draw a second motor. So I'm going to say Servo 2. Okay, and this motor, just like the other one, has 3 colors, right? 3 colors. We have 1, 2, and 3. I'm drawing it kind of big so we have more room. The first color being brown, second is red, and then orange. Now brown always connects to GND, so I'm going to draw one of these. Red goes to 5V, so I'm going to draw one of these. And orange, that's going to go to a different pin. Now we need a PWM pin, and that is number 10 for us, okay? So 10. All right, now the way that we connect this is we just need to put it right next to pin number 9, which is the one right over there. Now when we put it in, let's just be careful. The brown, okay, needs to match the G row. So we find column number 10, which is right here, and then brown to the G row. Okay, all right, so now that that's good, what I want to do is we're going to connect this onto the pencil. So we could put it right here or right here or something, and what you'll have is you'll have 2 motors kind of moving side by side. But what we want is actually this second motor is going to be added to the pencil, which is being controlled by this motor. So then all of a sudden you're going to have some more complicated coding and movement, because this entire motor will move depending on what this motor's doing. All right, so what we do is go ahead and grab one of these sticky foams, okay? And then we're going to stick it on the end like that, okay? And then what we'll do is take one of these, another pencil, and stick it on there. Now, if you don't have a pencil, maybe it's a straw, maybe it's a little piece of cardboard, maybe it's a toothpick, whatever it may be. You want to pick something that's not too heavy, okay? Because this is just sticky foam right here. So if you put something really heavy, like a heavy pen or something, it might topple over. So just grab something, but just make sure it's not too heavy. Okay. All right, so I got that going. Now let's see if we can program this. So I'm going to change my names now, just so we kind of keep things set up or keep things organized. This motor, let's call this the base motor, and this motor up here, let's call this the arm motor. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my code, and we can start coding. All right, so here's my code here. This one was just to move this motor back and forth, and we used to call it ed motor. Let's call it the base motor now. All right, now the base motor is connected to pin 9, so this part's fine, but then we got to change this to base motor. And then this one here, this is also base motor, and this is base, just update this all to base motor. Okay, so now this code should just move the bottom, the base motor, from 0 to 90 to 180 to 90 and then back and forth in a loop. So let's make sure that this still works. Cool. So that is working. I'm moving this so that we can see the... Okay, I'm going to stop this now. And then we're going to see if we can control the arm motor. I'm going to comment that out so that it stops going. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a second motor. Servo arm motor. And this one is connected to pin number 10 because going back here, remember we said the second servo motor goes to 10. All right, so let's go pin mode 10 output. And let's set up arm motor dot attach 10. Oh, okay, cool. So that's set up now. Now let's see if we can move. Let's see what happens. Let's move the 10 motor to 0. See what happens. Pin motor or arm motor dot write 0. So now we're going to keep track of it, right? Because we got 2 motors now. Let's see what happens if we put 0. Okay, 0 didn't do anything. It's just kind of there. All right, so let's try 90 then. Maybe it was already there or something. Okay, cool. So it moved a little bit that way. What I want to do is establish 2 positions, okay? I want a position where it comes all the way in like this. So that should be probably like 180. Let's try. I want to turn it all the way in. Okay, so that is kind of lined up, but not quite exactly. So let's go a little bit less. I want it to line up like this pencil with that pencil. So I'm going to go a little less, maybe 170. Let's try that. And that didn't change anything. Sometimes it's, okay, maybe 150. Let's see if that makes a difference. Interesting. Let's see if mine, maybe 130 gives me a better. So these motors are not always exact. They all act, they might act a little funny here and there, so we got to fine tune it. Okay, that's a little bit too far for me, right? So there's a couple things you could do now. You could try to change the code to make it match, or because remember I said we didn't put the coupling in, we didn't put the screw in, we can just kind of lift it. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to say I'm going to go back to 180. Okay, so 180 is like that. I'm going to just kind of lift this up because it's, okay, I'm going to lift up my coupling here. All right, and what I can do is just take it and set it up so that when it's 180, it looks like that. So pretty close. So that's what's nice about it is if you don't screw it in, you can first set the code and then say, okay, this is what I want it to look like when it's 180. All right, so now that we have that set, this is what we're gonna call retracted. Okay, So when it's retracted, it means that the robot arm is coming in, like it's not sticking out all the way. All right, now when it's extended, it means that we're going to turn the pencil the other way so that it reaches further out. Okay, so I think it should be like 0. Let's see what happens. If it's 0, it should kind of go back out again. Let's try. Okay, now you see 0 takes me a little bit further than I want. So what if I do, so 0 went a little bit further. I'm going to do something like 30, and maybe it'll line up because it went a little bit further. Let's see. Oh, that now went a little bit too far the other way. Maybe 20 will help me line it up. Pretty close. I'm going to say 10. Okay, I'm going to say that is close enough for me, okay? So I'm going to write these in, make some comments here. So for me, and you're going to have to take some notes because yours is going to be a little bit different from mine. It depends how your motor behaves. It depends where you put the coupling, okay? But for me, retract is 180 degrees. And extend is, I just put 10 degrees, all right? So I want to remember that. Now your job will be to figure out what is retract for you and what is extend for you, okay? Remember, all of ours is going to be different, but that's actually your first challenge. So I'll type it here. Challenge number 1, find retract and extend angles, okay? Now that I know that, what I want to do is I'm going to keep it extended, and I want to go 180, 90, 0, and then loop through, but while I'm extended. So if I'm extended is 10, so I can just change it to 10, arm motor to 10, and then all I have to do is keep the arm motor there and then just move the base motor, and I should get that. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So now, see, we have it. The base motor is moving 0, 90, 180, and it's extended. So that's going to be the second challenge. Move between 0, 90, 180 while extended. Okay, so just like that. Now, what if I wanted to do this, but I want it to do it while retracted? Zero, 90, 180 while retracted. Okay, so all I have to do is actually change this one, my arm motor, which is the top one, to the retracted position, which is 180 for me, and it should do that. Let's try. Okay, there we go. All right, now here's where I will take it the next level, where things get kind of interesting. Let me pause this by commenting everything out. Okay. Okay. So I just commented everything. I was just chilling now. All right, so what if I wanted to do like this? I want to go to 0, and then what I want to do when I get to 0, I'm going to start retracted, then extend, and then come back. Then I go to 90, extend, and then come back. 180, extend, and then come back. So let me work through how that's going to work. So let's first do the easy part of the code, I think, which is just moving the base motor. So I'm going to take this. Let's uncomment our code. And let's upload this. So this should just move it from 0, 90 to 180. Okay, so that's going to all 3 spots. So I'm kind of like maybe a third of the way there. Now I need to make sure that this right now, it's kind of in between of extend and retract. Let's retract it. How do I do that? I got to put in my retract is 180 degrees, so I'll bring in this command, which will bring it in, which will retract it. Okay. So now I'm all retracted. Now the only thing left to do is when I'm at 0, so when I'm at 0, I need to go to extend it, retract it, and then move. All right, so how am I going to do that? Let's see here. I'm going to say, so this is the code where it goes to 0. Then what I do is I'm going to say in my arm motor.write, I'm going to extend it, which extend for me is 10. I'm going to wait 1 second extended, and then I'm going to bring my arm motor back to retract, which is 180. And I'm going to delay. Okay, so what this should do is it moves the base motor to 0, it waits a second, then the arm motor will extend for 1 second, then it's going to retract back for 1 second, and then the base motor will move to 90. So let's see. Oh, I have a mistake here somewhere. Arm motor, oh, I have a, here. Spelled that incorrectly, okay. Let's see. There we go. So 0, extend, come back, 90, 180. All right, so I'm almost there. Now I have to add the extend on 90 and 180 too. How do I do that? I just take the same code. So at this point, my base motor's moved to 90. I'm going to take my same code right here, the arm, extend, and retract code, and put it here. Paste it in there. So now it's going to do the same thing at 90. And let's do the same thing at 180. And let's do the same thing back at 90. I'm going to paste it in. Okay? So just to recap, it's going to go to 0, do my extend thing. It's going to go to 90, do my extend thing. Go to 180, do my extend thing. Go to 90, do my extend thing, and then loop. Let's do this. Should work. It should work. Okay, 90, 100, 90. All right. There we go. So the challenge number 4 is move between, oh, I gotta fix this. It should say 0 there, right? 0, 90, 180 with extend, retract. Awesome. Okay, so that's the lesson today, so that you can have 2 motors moving at the same time. Now let's do one more thing here before we go. Let's add a button so that we can have the motion go only when the button is pressed. So how are we going to do this? Trigger by motion by button. All right, let's see here. Well, this is the thing that we want to do. All this, right? So we can do this. We can say, we got to set up our button, which is on pin number, let's look at our schematic. Pin number 2. Remember, our button's connected to pin number 2. So we're going to set that up here in a setup. Pin mode 2 input. And because the button is an input. And then now we're going to say if digital read 2 equals low, that's when I press it. Then I want to, here's my comment, just so that we can keep organized. We're going to move the motor. Else, do nothing. All right? So this is saying if I press the button, then do this motor stuff. So I'm going to take all of this, my motor motion, I'm going to cut, and I'm going to throw it all into here. Okay? Now this is a little bit hard to read, so I'm going to highlight all this. And what I want to do is indent it. I'm going to take this line and make it all match the arm motor. There. I did that by pressing the tab button. Okay. Let's upload this. Okay, it's not doing anything. If I press the button, it should kind of go through that whole thing. Let's try. I'm going to press right now. And it'll cycle through. And it ends up there. Now, let's see, if I press it again, it should do that. All right, so now let's modify it so that it ends back at 0. So you get stuck there, right? So how do we do that? Let's go into our code. This is all the code that runs whenever we press the button, right? So let's go ahead and add one more. So base motor dot write 0. So it moves the base to 0. Delay 1000. And then actually I can just it's the same code, right? So right here, this is the extend code, extended retract code, and I'll copy it and put it right there. All right. So now it should, when I press it, it should do the whole cycle thing and end up at 0. Okay. Pressing the button. Okay, 90. Should go to 180 next. And then go to 0. Awesome. Okay, so now we have that going. The last challenge will be, which I won't show the answer here, because all 1 through 5, if you get the, once you calibrate it, like set up, find the angles for extend and retract, you can basically just copy what I have here, right? Except for your numbers right here, this 10 and 180, those might be a little bit different for you, okay? So just come keep in mind. But once you find your 2 numbers for retract and extend, my code will be, it's basically the same. So I'm gonna add another challenge where you don't copy the exact code, okay? We're gonna do move between 0, 45, 90, 180, or sorry, 90, 135, 180 with extend, retract, all right? So what that's gonna look like is it's gonna go 0, extend, retract, 45, extend, retract, 90, extend, retract, 135, extend, retract, 180, extend, retract, all right? And so that's gonna be the challenge. Can you make it go through all of those different segments? So it's combining some of the things we've already done in the past with this new exercise here. All right, so that's what we have for today. Later on, we're gonna add some more complexity, some more different moves with our robot arm, and possibly even put a third motor on. I'm not sure if we can actually, if this second pencil or whatever could, you guys choose to have a straw could support a third one, but we'll try. We could play with that. All right, so have fun, and I will talk to you soon.